Byte Runners, developers of Drug Dealer Simulator, do not support the investigation into Schedule 1 and lay the blame with the publisher. While Schedule 1 continues to gain massive traction, topping sales and player counts, the developers of Drug Dealer Simulator, Byte Runners, have found themselves caught in a messy situation they didn't ask for. Despite being review-bombed by Schedule 1 fans, the team has been clear that they don't feel personally harmed by the success of Schedule 1, and certainly not by the idea that their game has inspired it. The accusations of intellectual property infringement are not being pursued by Byte Runners themselves, but by their publisher, Movie Games S.A., who is legally required to investigate such matters as a publicly traded company. Here is what Byte Runners said. "We want to state that, despite the fact that we do see many similarities between the games, and that some aspects of Schedule I were probably heavily inspired by DDS, we as the developers do not feel like we are being robbed by anyone. Mind that we are not lawyers, and we base the following on our personal feelings about the matter. In our opinion, SL has its own vibe, freshness, and ideas that derive from the concept of DDS1, but expand on it and bring them in its own shape and style. Frankly, we don't care how this relates to copyrights and fair competition laws, but we think these kinds of inspirations are abundant in game development, create and improve genres, and, even if they sometimes cross a few lines, are, in general, a good thing for the industry and gaming as a whole. We base our stance on our personal opinions on the matter as developers and gamers. If we had a choice in this, we would not pursue any legal actions against Schedule 1 in any shape or form. Considering we do not own the DDS IP, we do not have direct influence over the decisions surrounding the investigation or our publisher's policy. However, we have expressed our concerns and opinions to them directly. We will actively work on voicing our stance during this investigation. We want this to end well for everyone, and do not want anyone affected to face this kind of negativity, fear, or hatred. That's not why we make games, and that's not what we stand for. Schedule 1 hit a peak of over 450,000 concurrent players, beating out huge AAA games, and is yet another instance of a game being released onto Steam with little to no marketing or fanfare, made by a small team, or in this case, one person, and absolutely blowing up. Made by Tyler VGS based in Australia, and a few collaborators for the art and music, the game follows a similar loop to Drug Dealer Simulator in that you start as a small-time dealer with aspirations to grow a crime empire. Despite the cartoonish appearance of Schedule 1, the game is pretty addictive, pun intended. Drug Dealer Simulator is a more gritty, true-to-life interpretation of the subject matter made by Byte Runners, a Polish studio, and published by Movie Games S.A. While the publisher have outrightly said there is no lawsuit, they are investigating similarities between the two games, which has brought them some negative publicity from people enjoying Schedule 1, resulting in some review bombing on Steam. What do you think? Is the corporate grip on game development too tight, or is this a necessary part of the industry? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.